Thanks for joining us after the World Series. I'm Lindsey Hess. First on Fox, we have full team coverage of Game 4 of the 2016 Fall Classic. Louis Del Rio is live in Chicago, and we've got Matt Wickos, who's live in downtown Springfield. But first, let's toss things over to David Coy with the highlights from Game 4. Welcome back to Fox Springfield News at 9. With more people, especially young children, falling victim to drug use and addiction, education in schools is becoming more and more important.
Fox's Jacqueline Driscoll spent some time talking to kids about a national campaign to keep them off of drugs.
In your Crime Watch, Springfield police are searching for two suspects who robbed a gas station early this morning. Police say that just before 1:30, two men robbed the Fast Mart on East South Grand Avenue. The suspects were armed, but no one was injured. If you know anything about this crime, you're asked to call Springfield police, or you can remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers.
Donald Trump is claiming the election is rigged, tweeting multiple times about the issue to his 12.5 million followers.
But our local election headquarters says it's completely secure. Officials are expecting a large turnout at the polls November 8th. In Sangamon County, early voting has already started. County Clerk Don Gray says thousands of voters have already cast their ballots. Once these ballots are in the tabulator, which keeps track of the votes, it won't be open until polls close on Election Day.
We take the security and integrity of our election system very seriously.
Gray says there are a number of steps taken to ensure people don't vote for a deceased relative. Tonight at 10, our sister station, News Channel 20, goes deeper into the election process to explain how your vote is counted. Again, that's on our sister station, News Channel 20 at 10. Good evening, I'm Lindsey Hess, filling in for Stacy tonight.
And I'm John Rieger. We start with some developing news tonight. Governor Mike Pence says he's okay after his plane skidded off the runway at LaGuardia Airport.
This was the scene on the ground. Members of the press described a terrifying several moments. The airplane fishtailing as it touched down before it stopped in the grass on the side of the runway. Good evening, and thanks for staying up late with us after Game 3 of the World Series. I'm Lindsey Hess.
And I'm John Rieger. For the first time in 71 years, Wrigley Field and the Chicago Cubs hosted a World Series game, but the outcome didn't quite go as planned.
Sports Director Donnie Tillman here now with highlights from Game 3 of the World Series. Donnie. Cubs fans have been waiting decades, even half a century, to see their team make it this far. As Jacqueline Driscoll shows us, one fan's love carries on for an eternity. Cheryl, I remember trick-or-treating as a kid, and I always had to layer up, and it seemed like it was always rainy and cold, but not so much this year.
Yeah, just a couple years back in 2014, we actually had some stray snow flurries around Halloween, but
looks like a blast. If you couldn't get a ticket to Game 4, you're not alone. Locals gathered tonight at the Old State Capitol for a viewing party to watch the game. Fox's Matt Wickos is there live. How's it going, Matt?
Okay, now to our World Series coverage, which we have been all over because we got so many fans here. Call them the comeback kids. The Chicago Cubs avoided elimination Sunday night, last night against the Cleveland Indians.
That's right. It was the first World Series win for the Cubs at Wrigley Field since 1945. But the Indians are still up 3-2 in the series, and both teams are looking to end a championship drought. Cleveland won their last championship in 1948, and it's been over 100 years since the Cubs last won it all. But dedicated fans have been there, win or lose. I wonder if they had butterbeer.
Oh, see, you lost me on that. I don't even know who was that guy.
I don't know, but
they're on their way to Dumbledore or something. I know. Stay tuned.
We'll have the latest with that one.
It's not often I get to see highlights from my high school, Camp Point Central.
I know, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad we were able to cover that stuff.
Me too. We'll be right back. We're getting spoiled this fall. The whole month has just been gorgeous.
I keep giving the calendar a double take because
Me
it's
too.
supposed to be October. It doesn't feel like it though. And boy, this is just the sample of what's going to be coming our way. Just exceptionally mild weather for the next few days, Lindsey. So
sounds good to me.
Soak it in and enjoy it.
This shouldn't come as a surprise. Expect to see a lot of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's ringing your doorbells this Halloween, which is great news for Party City. The retailer announced last month it was hiring 35,000 seasonal employees to handle the surge in demand for costumes. Party City expects to report a more than 10% increase in earnings. In case you're curious, there is more demand for Trump costumes, but there was a demand even before he ran for president. Sometimes it's hard to be a Trump, especially if you're not even related to the Donald.
Yeah, I love this story. An Oregon man also happens to be named Trump, and it's not uncommon for him and his wife to get harassed for their vanity license plates. Here's Chris Liedl reporting.
Thanks for joining us on Fox Springfield News at 9. I'm Lindsey Hess.
And I'm John Rieger. First on Fox, Springfield's rich history, no match for its mystery. From the Dana Thomas House to Springfield High School, stories of spirits run rampant.
Norbandy's Tavern is a historic landmark known for its supernatural sightings. We teamed up with a paranormal expert for an overnight investigation of the downtown building. Here's what happened. Norbandy's Tavern, a charming building, its uniqueness eye-catching as you travel along Capitol Avenue.
It was built in 1837 by the Hickox family, and they lived there as a single-family residence until its next usage, which was the Sangamo Club, the original site of the Sangamo Club.
The building's use evolving even more over the years, a speakeasy during Prohibition, and a funeral home and morgue during the Spanish flu epidemic.
The chute that they slid the bodies in, they stacked them floor to ceiling in this basement.
Ever since, stories of unexplained phenomena.
I saw a little girl, which I've come to know as Alice now. I believe that's the name that everybody names her. But I can see her flowing hair, her curls in her hair, and I could see her just running behind the bar.
Todd Gedominski says that was his first paranormal encounter, and it didn't stop there. He also saw what he believes was an apparition of a man and felt a hand on his shoulder.
I turned around and I thought somebody was messing with me, and no one was there. So physically being touched and feeling the fingers in the hand, actually puts your shoulder down, so it makes you a believer pretty quick.
About a week ago, Todd brought in paranormal investigator Larry Wilson. Larry placed audio recorders.
If there are any spirits here and you feel like talking, this device that I have will record your voice.
And video cameras throughout the Hickox house upstairs and Norbandy's in the basement. Larry says he asked the spirits a series of questions.
What's your wife or husband's name?
Did you catch it? Larry says you can faintly hear a voice saying, Nicole. Listen again.
What's your wife or husband's name?
Larry tells us that was just one of several eerie things to happen that night. So we decided to check it out for ourselves. We tagged along with Larry Sunday for an overnight investigation.
We'll do a little quiet time, maybe for about 5 minutes, and we'll ask some questions.
We spent time in all levels of the home and heard some strange noises.
I feel like there's something there. Did you hear that? Yeah.
There's a little pop like.
And around 4 a.m., a blue light catches our eye. Suddenly, the jukebox machine turns on. None of us had touched it. A song begins to play. The title, Demons by Imagine Dragons. Larry and Todd say they have no doubts it was the doing of the paranormal.
Come here and check it out. You'll be a believer. I mean, you can't explain it all away. So that's what we deal with here at Norbs.
The paranormal investigator, Larry Wilson, lives here in Central Illinois and has written several books about his experiences. Again, it was just last night that we were at Norbandy's for the investigation, so it's going to take a little time for him to comb through all the audio and video.
And how long is it going to take for you to settle down your nerves? You told the story a few times today in the newsroom.
I don't know. I had a hard time sleeping. I mean, we were out all night, so I get home around 6:30 and I'm wide awake just going over everything in my head, and I cannot wait to hear what Larry finds on those audio recordings, and I'll update everyone on my Facebook page and post those there. If he finds anything, we'll see.
Nicole.
We're just west of 11th and Cook Street at this railroad underpass. As you can see, there's an extreme flooding situation, several feet of standing water, and the rain is still coming down steadily. If you look down a little farther down the street, you can even see a car submerged in the water, and we're hearing reports of these submerged cars, stalled cars all over the east side of Springfield. Many people are having to escape their cars and wade in several feet of water water to get to safety. Now, there are police officers blocking the intersections at both ends of the street to prevent people from coming down Cook and trying to go down underneath this underpass, because what appears to be just a puddle could actually be several feet of water. And as we know, flooding is actually the most deadly weather situation there is. So if you can avoid travel, please do so tonight. Live in Springfield, Lindsey Hess, Fox News at 9.
News Channel 20's Lindsey Hess live at the Prairie Capitol Convention Center, where Governor Bruce Rauner took over the reins of power just hours ago. Lindsey.
Vince, Governor Rauner says he's ready to get to work. And those who attended this morning's inaugural ceremony say he has a lot of work to do. But just hours into his new role, he's already bringing hope to those eager to see some change.
Please welcome Governor-elect Bruce Rauner.
The man looking to shake up Springfield takes the stage, bringing new leadership and hope to the people of Illinois.
I think there is change coming, and I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for a new direction, new leadership.
Taking the oath as governor,
The duties of the office of governor
also means becoming the leader of a state plagued with a fiscal and ethical crisis.
Now the hard work begins, because he has to sit down with lawmakers and forge compromise solutions.
We're kind of sometimes the joke, the butt of the jokes of late night comics, that our governor served 2 terms, so it's bad. But we're on the way to change. We are already on the way of change.
Last year, we lost more people than any other state in America.
The state's first Republican governor in a dozen years says he'll work to make Illinois a state where people will want to build their businesses and raise their families.
Realtors, one of the things that we'd like to see is companies coming back to Illinois instead of leaving. And so hopefully that'll happen, and we'll be able to enjoy that success.
And those attending the inauguration say the first step towards a successful future for Illinois begins with Governor Rauner.
I'm a father. We have 2 young children. I think it's important that we recognize the decisions we make today impact that next generation, and it's time to make the right decisions.
The thing that was most encouraging is the idea that he's going to govern for the next generation, not the next election.
Many of the people who were in attendance at the inauguration were parents and grandparents, and they say they hope Governor Rauner follows through with his plan to fix the state's education system. Live in Springfield, Lindsey Hess, News Channel 20 at 5.
Lindsey, how's it going so far?
It's going great, Vince. For the last 41 years, families have been coming out here to Chatham Community Park to help shuck sweet corn. Now, there are 14,000 ears of sweet corn being shucked. And if you've ever shucked a large quantity of sweet corn, you know it's painstaking work. But these volunteers are pros. And actually, Tracy Formia, she is going to challenge me to see how quickly I can shuck an ear of corn. But you've been doing this a while, right, Tracy?
I have experience, 10 years.
All right. A little more experience than me, but we're going to try this anyway. All right, are you ready, Tracy?
I am.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Neck and neck.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Struggle again. Come back. Oh, no.
Ah! Oh! It was so close, but the experience obviously paid off. I need a little bit more practice, Vince, but again, the Sweet Corn Festival kicks off tomorrow night at 4:30. 5 o'clock is when the Sweet Corn Festival pageant kicks off, so it's a weekend of entertainment, so come on out here to Chatham. Live in Chatham, Lindsey Hess, ABC News Channel 20.
Maggie, gas prices here in Springfield are at about the same as the cost of a cup of coffee, just under $2 a gallon. And that's giving drivers more money to save, pay down debt, or spend. Here in Sangamon County, drivers are spending their extra cash in some interesting ways. He says last month, local residents spent more on electronics, their pets, and dating services compared to the national average. Live in Springfield, Lindsey Hess, News Channel 20 at 6. Liz, the utility's former finance director, retired late last year. And now some city leaders say it's tough to attract a qualified replacement with the pay CWLP is offering.
Again, CWLP says it's not raising its rates for customers, but that could change later, depending on the power market. Live in Springfield, Lindsey Hess, News Channel 20 at 6.